I knew that something was wrong. I knew that my son was not going to come home. And then my sister-in-law called, and then she said, "Just walk away, Tina. Just go in the house and lock the door. Tell them you can't talk. We're almost there." We all have what cancer patients, they have death as their last last symptom. I'm so sorry.
I mean, that's literally.
I remember being so sorry. I'm so snotty, y'all. I don't want to be ugly on camera.
Beautiful.
But so I remember being down on the ground, rocking back and forth, and my nieces that are just new mamas are hugging me, and my sister-in-law is holding me, and I just am saying, no, this can't be the way that he died. This can't be his story. This is not how it's supposed to be.
No.
We are supposed to outlive our kids. And I knew then that I was never going to let my shame be Nathan's shame anymore. And that essence, or what I mean, I guess, is that people were asking me, how did he die? And I just said he died. Wouldn't say how because I was embarrassed. How can you be embarrassed and ashamed of the people of your child?
You're also dealing with shock, and I mean, I can't even imagine. Tina, I have a hard time saying it. And I didn't lose my kid to it.
I really didn't, so that whole thing happened, and it was hard for me. What I look back at was painful for me is not only losing my son, but that my nieces and my nieces who were there saw me at my most vulnerable that I would ever be in my life. I never thought that I would be that stripped of any barrier that you have up. There is
Nothing
none.
matters.
Nothing.
Like that.
Yeah.
And that my nieces had to be the ones to hold me and think about their children as they're hugging me, hoping that they never have to go through this. I can't imagine what was going through their heads, and how scared they had to have felt. And
they were just so heartbroken for you.
And of course, it just, what do you say? I remember saying, I wanted my boss. I wanted Michael. And it was because I knew that for some reason he was going to be safe. I don't know why. We had been hanging out for the summer and, through the lockdown, and I really got to know my boss, and I'm like, okay, he's my friend too. And all of a sudden I'm love all these people that have come into my life. And so he was at my house about 20 minutes after I found out. And for everything that people might say about my boss, I love him, but I will always be a stick that ticks, a tick that sticks. I'll get it backwards always. I'll get in your ass and stick right there because I burrow in, because of the loyalty, because he took the time. And I needed a father figure in that moment, and he was that person. And he was very compassionate and showed me something that I didn't know he had. So it bonded us, or for me, that's what bonded me to my boss and to our friendship and to everything else. And my girlfriend was there at the time. My then best friend was there at the time. And she set out a thing on Facebook, and then people started donating and bringing food, and I just was so touched. And in my quiet mind, I wrote on the Facebook, I wrote, that people will shame my son. They will make him, whatever. He was brave in my eyes. I could literally never hold a gun to my head, let alone shoot it. I just couldn't. I'm not that brave.
You definitely could never say that about anyone that takes their own life.
I mean, you just,
Like,
and the selfishness that came, that people say he's going to be and everything else. My son was far from selfish. He gave so much of himself that he didn't know how to give to himself. He just gave it to everybody else. And he couldn't show himself self-care. And then the following couple of weeks was planning a funeral, a memorial. The things that, you don't think about, as having a child die, have someone else on your bank account, so you can save probate. We don't want your money. In fact, his money that he did get back out of his bank account went towards him going to the moon, because he is being buried on the moon.
Oh, wow.
So he's orbiting Earth right now. So he will come back as someone's wishing star, I hope.
I hope that.
Wow.
How long was it before you went to grief counseling?
I haven't been, 4 years. I went for 3 weeks, and then my insurance canceled, and I just said, I can't do this again.
Didn't you take a course on it or something?
I did take a grief education course.
That's what
I'm certified
what I
in
meant.
that. I did that in 2022. A Conroe police officer talked me into it, a young one who encouraged me to go back to school. That I was like, I'm too old to learn,
really
and he
proud of
was
you for
like,
doing that.
yeah, it was just like one of those things. And here I'm listening to this young kid tell me, yeah, you can do it, go for it, and I did. I went back, and it was with David Kessler, and he's one of probably the most respected. I don't know if he's a psychiatrist, but he just deals with grief. He deals with, a bunch of people, a bunch of people.
Is there anything that you learned from doing that you think could be
What I
helpful
learned, yes.
other people that might be going through something similar?
First of all, I learned the biggest thing that I've learned from anything will be that have those hard talks with your children. I don't care how uncomfortable it is. I don't care if it's sex, if it's drugs, if it's alcohol, whatever it is, have the tough talks. They need you to. We are growing up in a time where technology and everything else is taking over, and you as a parent need to take over and be more positive than what is being fed out here.
And be present.
Yes.
Be present for your kids, yes. Their problems are real to them. They may seem silly to us, but to them, they're very real.
And we also had those same ones when we were that age.
Yes.
To some capacity.
Yes.
Always. And I think it's really important to be empathetic. Don't tell them that they don't have real problems and stuff like that. I always try to tell Ryder, oh man, I remember that. I remember going through that and feeling that way. It matters.
It's their worst at that time.
Yes.
We remember our worst.
Yes.
You
know what I mean?
Yes.
It's the same.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sure. I think when we're younger, we have no barriers, so we aren't prepared. And that's how we start to...
You have no life experience.
None.
You're gaining it.
And we don't realize it because it's so painful, but the next time we're a little more cautious at what we're going to do.
Yep.
There's more of a plan or whatever.
But that kind of happens throughout your whole life. I tell Ryder that all the time. Like, dude, I'm doing this for the first time too.
Yep.
I don't know. We're just going to have to figure it out.
Yep. And that's all you can do. I mean, I guess isn't life that way though? I mean, do we really have it figured out?
No.
Never.
I think you do better when you stop trying to figure it out.
And, I got to thinking, about how people talk about how they're so happy all the time. And I think they're the people that just they choose to say they're happy most of the time, but everybody is not happy 24/7.
No.
Happiness is fleeting. And I think you have to grasp those moments that are for happy.
To look for the happy.
Yeah, because I think otherwise everything just looks negative. I don't think we have where there's not enough positivity going around and encouragement. And I remember having female camaraderie where it meant something. We don't have that now.
Collaboration instead of competition.
Yes. And I'm like, man, I am in your corner holding you up even though you don't know it. I'm one of those invisible people. However, a lot of people don't have those people.
Yep.
And so they crumble. And those are the people that we need to stand up for and help. And those are the people that don't have the voice to speak out and say for themselves, hey, this isn't right, because their voice has been silenced. I'm not a woke person. I don't know the proper anything. I just know that from living this past 5 years, the journey I've lived on is that you don't ever know what someone's backstory is. You don't ever know what someone is going through, and that your words, your impactful words, are going to potentially make someone go home and do what my son did. You don't know that. People aren't strong like they used to be. And it's not because we are getting weaker as we get older. It's that life is getting harder.
Yeah.
Expectations are growing, like what
being
people
numb.
expect from you.
Yeah.
The job, you never get off work anymore.
No.
The demand of go, 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 go. Yeah, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And I can't, like I said, I can't imagine being a child in this day and age. I know it's hard for me. Can you imagine what it's like for the kids that really, like I said, they don't have a voice because we silence them, or their school silences them, or somebody else is silent saying it's not a big deal. We're always telling people it's not a big deal. It is a big deal.
It's a deal, for sure. It's a deal worth talking about. Always.
Always.
No matter how small it seems. What's small to you isn't always small to another person.
And it gets bigger.
Festers.
Yes. And my son was up to his calling. There were signs there. I never saw them. I saw, oh, he's happy. That's what he's telling me.
Yeah.
They hide it very well once they make that decision.
Yeah.
I think that's something I learned too, is that, okay, this was his signs, but he was okay. He was happy with the decision he made. That's why he was able to do the things that he did. He upped his calling. He was going out to see my husband every Sunday and cooking him a really nice meal that he had learned to cook at the restaurant. He was doing all these things, and I think those were ways of saying goodbye. I just think that he was like, I think he went...
Even like, you think he really had it totally planned, or do you think it was a subconscious, he knew he was going to but didn't know exactly when?
I think he knew he was going to, he just didn't know when. I think he was planning to do it after his birthday. And this is something else that, these are hard things because of the stigma that's around it. But my son had a lethal amount of cocaine and alcohol in his system and Adderall when he died. So...
and he wasn't typically, the kid you knew wasn't a drug user.
No, not at all. And people go, oh, you just didn't know. No, I talked to friends. I'm like, was he doing this?
You told me he had partied some, and
Yeah.
he told you that.
Yeah, I mean, he was like...
pretty open.
He was pretty open about, like, if he even had a beer that day, that night, he still didn't want to drive because he was afraid that it'd still be on his breath if he got pulled over. He was very leery. So,
Rule follower.
yeah, I mean, that's just how he was. But then, they also do a hair follicle, and the coroner or the ME who wrote up the autopsy had said, he wasn't a long-term user because it didn't show up in the hair follicles. Now the marijuana did,
Yeah.
because he had smoked, but we knew
So it
that.
could have just been that night.
Yep. So, whatever happened that night, whatever crisis situation that he went into, it happened, and that was his outcome. And I, with doing this, if it saves just one person's life, if one person needs a sign,
Or just gives a parent a reason to go talk to their kid real quick.
yes.
Yeah.
Because again, the hard
We're gonna go over the
conversations,
statistics.
the hard conversations are worth having, because otherwise you might be planning your child's funeral as well.
I think out of, as parents, especially moms, I think that we go on the side of self-protection because we don't want to admit that there's always that possibility. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like there's a level of ignorance, but also just self-acceptance that isn't happening, that your kid could be one too.
Yeah. And
That's your worst nightmare.
Yeah,
Never,
absolutely. But the
never.
reality is and not only that, but especially with Adderall becoming so popular and it being sold black market, fentanyl, like
Yep.
my sister is an addict. It's scary
Sorry.
to know that
Well,
she
it touches
overdosed.
everybody's
Yeah.
lives. I mean, you have yours, and then
Yeah.
mine, Ryder's biological dad. Yeah. I mean, it's everywhere. It's in every family. Somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody down the
Yeah.
line. It's like all of us have. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's
I think
crazy.
it's also scary too because I want to have those conversations with my kids, but I'm also too scared because what if I tell them the things that they either don't believe me and they think I'm being dramatic,
Right.
or what if there's something that's intriguing? I'm scared of that. You know what I mean? Like it's
The intrigue. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. I talked to my son about this very openly. I mean, we talked about sex. I went and got him a box. I literally walked in and said, "Does Goodyear make a condom?" Like, we are not having babies. We are not having babies at this age. So, I knew everything about my son. He didn't keep away, like, oh, mom doesn't need to know, or mom, I'm embarrassed to tell my mom. He was the one person he wanted to tell, When I say we were close, it was a different type of bond because he had also seen me sick,
a level of trauma bond.
Yeah, he is, or was, I'm sorry. He was, if I wanted to go climb, I'd be like, man, wouldn't that be great to climb a hill right now? He'd be like, okay, let's go. He's like, gotta have someone to help you in the front, help you in the back, and up we would go. He was just very centered on me. And it was wild because the psychiatrist said, when it comes to you, he has empathy. He understands it. He understands love. He understands loyalty. He understands family. He really understands protectiveness when it is applied to you. When it's applied to other people that he doesn't really love, or that the world or whatever, he's like, kind of like, fuck the world, I'm going to focus on the people, and the people that he was that way with, he would have thrown down and died for you at that point, He was a crazy little dude. It was so funny. He just come out when the whole riots and everything were going on with COVID and everything. He comes out and says, "Thank you for backing me." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Well, I know I'm a Buddhist, but I'm also Jewish." I said, "What?" He had Jewish on his grandparents were Jewish, but he was not. He was not raised Jewish, but all of a sudden he claimed that. And he's like, I'm gonna pick that up and say I'm a Buddhist Jewish.
That's cute. That's so cute.
Like, it sounds like a Tina joke.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. Sounds like something you would say.
So yeah, he always had these these things he'd throw at me like, man, Mom, you are the most liberal conservative I've ever met in my life.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
He's like, you believe this, but you just don't. You're hardcore
You're a
on
deep
this.
thinker.
Yeah, I'm like,
You
can't
do
help
critical
it.
thinking. You like to dive.
Yes.
I do too. I think that's we all
Yeah,
like to
yeah,
just get as
for
deep
real.
in it as you can.
So what has all of that done for you in your mental space?
I have wrestled for the past 5 years. There's not probably I'm going to ask you, what do you identify? Like, what is your identifiers for you and you? Who are you? Well, you're a mom.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, what are you? You're a mom. Sometimes you're a wife. You know what I mean? But you have a label. And so for how many percentage of your life, that percentage is your identity. So now all of a sudden, I've lost identity and I'm in a crisis.
Yeah.
I went through menopause. So I was right at the beginning of menopause when my son died. I also had quit smoking cigarettes. And I went to a hypnotist, so I couldn't smoke. So I was like, anybody, give me nicotine. And vape, here came the vape. So I think that if I didn't love you pre-Nathan, for me to love you now is really hard because I have been broken and I'm starting to put myself back together, and I never want to be broken again. Not like that. And I don't want anyone to have the capacity to be able to do that to me again. So I don't think that's probably a positive thing, but I'm trying. I think it's a self-preservation, like I just never want to go through that level of hurt again.
It's so crazy. Like you think that hurt, but like we don't.
Mm.
I think that if you've lost anyone in your life that you've loved,
I know, but it's different.
It's different.
it is different, but you can't take away from where anyone is at in their grief journey, whether it's they lost a parent or they lost a brother or they lost a friend even, because grief is grief and it demands to be attended to, because if not, you turn into this, which is really hard.
You literally faced hell.
The first year it was easy for me because I was able to say, hey, he's at school. He's living his life. He's just doing his thing. But the second year I had to really admit to myself that, okay, he's dead. Oh my God, there is no lying to yourself. The second year is the year I took the class as well. And I learned a lot about me and why I react to grief the way that I do. I didn't talk about it a lot. I didn't call up people and say, hey, I needed to talk. And instead, I isolated and afraid of people's stigma, afraid of the words of, your son went to hell because he killed himself.
Have you had somebody say that to
Oh,
you?
yes.
That is infuriating.
I've had people tell me, you talk too much about your dead son. And I'm like, listen, I'm just being me. I talked about my son all the time. Why would I stop because he died? I'm talking about him because he was
That's
my
how you
life.
keep him alive.
Yeah.
And I need to keep that what is the word?
Order.
Yes, thank you. In order for
Come on,
me,
girl, spit it out.
Spit it out. The glitch that I have. It just happened. But in order for me to not want to just go in a corner and suck my thumb and never come out of it, I have to talk about it.
You have to.
But I I was diagnosed with complicated grief because I didn't talk about it with anyone. I really kind of kept it. She was the one that I mainly talked to about the deep, dark stuff because I knew she could handle it. And if it wasn't where she could, Lindsey's bold enough to say, you know, this is my limit. But
I would never do that.
the text that we have shared got pretty deep, especially after the book, Saving Noah. I think that, like I said, I am trying. I'm just trying in life.
But you weren't for a while, and you are, and that's good.
Yeah.
She just kind of existed for a little bit.
And I still feel like I just exist, you know?
I don't think so. You've got fun stuff when you come in. You tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
Good
I've
things
got
going
some
on.
things, you know, I went and saw Wicked 2 last night. I haven't seen Wicked 1, but I saw Wicked 2.
Was it good?
It actually was. I was surprised, but I'm like, how do I? But
you go
now
with?
I
Did you
see
go on a date?
No, I went with Arlene, the bartender that I work with.
Oh, cool.
We are movie buddies, and so we were sitting there, and you know how they've been doing the weird interviews together, right? Ariana and
Yes.
like, what is her name?
Ariana Grande. And then I don't know.
Well,
she's
her
the
name.
black
Well, they
chick.
both have eating
Yes.
disorders. I know that thing came out. Like severe eating
Confirmed?
disorders. Yeah.
Is it confirmed, really? Because
Yeah.
I was like, man.
At least what I read, unless that was spam or whatever, which is likely.
It's most likely spam. I'm pretty sure they're both playing with Ozempic and like shit.
Well, they are, but they.
She's like a piece of
I'm sure that
rice.
would develop an eating disorder.
But that's what I read was that they had admitted to addiction to that and an overusage of it, and that they were both about to seek treatment for it.
And then the weirdness of them constantly, it's like, are you on something that you'd be going, oh, she's
It feels nice.
the helicopter is scaring her.
What?
No, there's some really. You haven't seen any of these?
No.
Look up interviews of them, two of them together.
It's
Their
bizarre.
behavior is bizarre. It is so weird.
bizarre.
It is out there. They
What?
they just touch each other constantly and talk very sweet. I would do
Like,
anything for you. It's weird. It's weird.
It's just weird.
Are they dating each other?
Well, I mean, if I were to say, yeah, they probably
So, they have
are.
a good relationship.
Because it's
good for them,
so
then.
nice to each other.
they're so polite.
that?
It does that. They're so weird. It's bizarre. They're in love.
That explains it right there. Love, bizarre, and weird.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Oh my gosh. And I'm gonna have to
Okay.
go watch it.
We will. I'll show you one before you leave. Okay.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Which one are you going to do?
I was
The
gonna-
advice?
I was going to do the how do you remember, but I was going to go into statistics.
Yeah. Do that.
Oh, the statistic.
Well,
Yeah.
first, what do you do to remember him? What
Yeah,
do you do?
what's-
Just keep talking about him? Do you have a
Coming on
tradition?
here.
Coming on here because I want my son's story to be told. We want to know that our children matter. That's what we want in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's passed away doesn't mean that he didn't matter. And now he has a story that needs to be told because we are losing at an exponential rate. We are losing people.
Go into that. That's a
And
perfect
so-
way into it.
I looked up, I Googled it last night because I was like, I want to be right when I do the statistics. And this blew my mind. I thought it was much less, but we lose 132 to 135 people daily to suicide.
Daily?
Daily. That's daily. That blows my mind. That's
That's a lot.
I thought you were going to say yearly.
No, that is yearly at 720,000 yearly globally that we lose someone. On the average, we have one death every 11 minutes. That's caused by suicide. The average veterans loss is 22 a day.
Yeah, I knew that.
So, you know, the causes obviously are mental disorders, drug addictions in general, I think.
Depression, getting put on medication, veterans, pain most likely.
Yes,
And
there's
then
just
A
so many.
spiral.
It is. It's an actual spiral.
Yeah.
And then the more that the same thing. When you're depressed, what do? You isolate.
Which is the worst thing you should
You
do.
should do. And then a lot of people self-medicate, and that's what I did. Is not me as but that's what I did for a living. Was that I worked at a dual diagnosis, and so I took care of the addiction part of it, and then there was the other side that took care of the mental. And a lot of the kids that were there were just trying to get rid of the pain that they were feeling, and so they did drugs and thinking that's going to make it better. Well, then that just spirals out, and then there's always something that's from that.
Well,
so
it
then
removes reality.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the second leading cause of death between the ages of 10 and 34.
10.
The second leading
The
cause?
second leading cause of death in the ages of 10 to 34. It's the fourth leading cause of death for 35 and 44 to 44. And then it's the highest rate is in 85 and older.
Oh my gosh.
That's how many we lose more a day of people that are 85 and older. Again, it goes back to pain, I think.
I cannot imagine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
They've lost everyone.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably more alone than anyone. They're in a lot of pain.
And probably physical pain, just health-wise and everything else.
Absolutely.
And we just act like let's keep sweeping it under the carpet. Are we waking up yet? Are we understanding that this is a problem? We're not.
Not only that, but I think that too, that one
It's staggering.
gets me just that hurts my heart to know that they're, sorry.
It's okay.
No.
If people don't have compassion to understand that.
Could you imagine living your whole life and imagine being married that entire time over 50 years?
Yeah. And then just
And
dying.
you have no one.
No one.
And everyone dies off when you're alone. The first time of ever feeling true loneliness.
Yeah.
And then to sit there and think that could happen, and I wonder how many of them regret it. But then I also wonder how many of them are like, finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
I've told her, I don't want to go to the doctor. Why do I need to go to the doctor? I wouldn't, if they told me I had cancer, there is not a single thing I would do I wouldn't change what I'm doing in my life if I did. And everyone's like, Tina, that is so sadistic. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I've fought MS since I was 18. I have lost the one thing that's supposed to mean something. Who am I going to give my shit to? Hey, all this stuff that was his, what am I going to do with it? And I'm holding on to it like a hoarder. But I sleep with a sweatshirt. I've not washed it. I hate to say that, but I'm like, no, can't. No. Don't touch the sweatshirt on my bed. Even though it doesn't smell like him anymore. You just do things, I think, to get through the day, But we are the 11th leading cause of death in the United States is suicide. And more people die by suicide than homicide daily. That blew my mind. I'm like, here we have a whole segment on the news that's all about homicide and all of this type of stuff, and yet we aren't talking about the suicides that are higher than a homicide. That's crazy to me because, again, it's the stigma.
It's the stigma.
We're not going to talk about it. We are not going to let them off the hook. For God's sakes, they're dying, and we're still just out there pounding that, hey, do better, be better. You know what? You don't have to feel this way. Some people just can't help the way they feel. I'm sure my son probably begged God to feel differently than what he felt.
I'm sure.
And laid there and probably thought, what did I do to deserve to feel this way? whatever it was that he was going through, his demons. And obviously they changed as, he got older and stuff, but he had gotten to a good place. I really thought, he had stopped therapy. I really thought couldn't have been in a better place. We were all so happy for him. And then I just wham. And of course,
Is that why you resonate so hard with Saving Noah too? That book. We read a book.
yeah.
It was the hardest book I've ever read.
Oh gosh.
But
Saving Noah by Noah Berry. If you're a boy mom, read
Lucinda
it.
Berry.
Lucinda Berry.
Yeah. It's a rough one. You will not come out of it the same. I didn't.
She talks about very sensitive subjects in the book and it's very short. But she does such great job at doing
She's a therapist, right?
She was, yeah.
What kind of therapist? A
trauma therapist. Child trauma therapist.
So her books are next level.
And this book totally screwed me up for the rest of my life. It didn't heal me either. There was no healing. I said it.
She was like, "This is the worst book I've ever read to read it." And I'm like, "Okay."
I sobbed. I tried to put it down. I'm like, I only have 40 more pages to go to finish it. And I'm over here just making myself finish it. And I'm
bawling, like
nuts hanging down to my nose, or down to my knees. I can't even sit. It was, but I resonated with it because of
Well, he made the plan. He had gotten peaceful in
Yes,
the book because
yes.
he had already made the decision of what he was going to do. And they do have a peacefulness.
Yeah. And
the way she wrote the book.
They say it with, all the research that I've done on suicide is that once they've made that decision, that it's peaceful for them, that they finally know that it's going to end.
There's an end date. And
I guess that being final or whatever, it just, I don't understand it. I really don't.
I mean, I understand it in the sense of like, how many times have you looked for that and known like, oh man, like, 4 more days, 3 more days. It's like senioritis, right? You're going to you're almost there. There is a peacefulness to it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know on that level, obviously, but if that's what you've lived your whole life, it seems that would bring you peace to have something for that too.
Yeah, that makes sense. It really does.
It makes sense to me.
I could honestly say I had days where I was just down and, down because I didn't feel good, just blah, whatever. I've never had depression. This is the first time I've ever had depression. And it's not me. I don't want to be, I'm just like, how do I get out of it?
Yeah.
How do you get out of it? Because this is horrible. And I never.
And then you feel ashamed.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so here we go again. I can't tell anybody I'm really depressed. And I just don't care. But the level of depressed I have gotten, especially in the beginning where I wouldn't bathe for a week. Mm-hmm. I just didn't give a shit. I was like, life, come on. I was so angry. And I was angry at God. That was who I was the most angry at because I told her, I feel like he understood. He made me. He understands my heart.
Of course he does.
So he can take the anger that I have because the world couldn't. The world could never handle the anger that I have towards what happened. So it's just been within the last year that, I'm now being more accepting of, thanks God, I really appreciate having my back. I'm sorry that I was the way that I was. And then I still have my moments of, just take a big shit on my head. Mm-hmm. So
I think that's pretty, normal for a father-daughter relationship.
Right?
So I mean, it's going to happen.
And I feel like
God knows that we're not always happy with the way things are in the moment. We accept it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's not our plan.
Right. Right.
It's not fair.
And, I always have done well, God, why me? Well, Tina, why not you? Mm-hmm. I've always done that game with me. And I'm like, okay, well, because, now shit really ain't that bad because there are people out there worse than me. it was hard for me to find that again, to where I could find that there are people in a worse journey than me, because I was so caught up in how I felt. And, I still am. I have to fix me, but I need help along the way. And when you feel abandoned, and it's of your own doing, but your phone book gets smaller. A lot of people too just feel uncomfortable with grief in general. They're just like, whoa.
It does do awkward things to people.
It makes people very awkward. And so, my phone book got very, very small. And I now know who my friends are. I know who my friends aren't. The ones that I know that if I call, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
They stayed with me through a journey. I never thought she would be one of them. But she was the one who stood out the most and said, hey, tell me what you feel. And she got it. It was about the book. And then she asked me questions, and I just unloaded. And it was so
There's
therapeutic.
Lots of questions, right? That all of us are curious about with that.
Yeah.
It's every parent's worst nightmare.
Yeah, for real. And the fact that we aren't doing anything about it, we aren't changing it. People talk about it.
It is slept off because it's like, man, their decision, right?
Yes. It's just,
they decided.
They were looking.
They took the easy way out or whatever, like the shit that people say. Like, I have never looked at it and thought, well, that's the easy way out. Not for me.
No.
That's like, that's just not, I don't have that illness.
Yes.
It's not something at this point in my life. Now you never know. You could go through something so dark that you consider things that you would have never considered. And I don't think that you ever, I don't know. I don't know what you considered. I do know that you weren't sad about being taken out of here if it just so happened.
Yeah. If it so happened, I would never do it.
Right.
I don't, there's nothing that will make me ever, I'm too strong, and I know that. However, I do break, and I do get to where I just have to shut the world out because I'm exhausted. It's exhausting being in my head. The thoughts go, 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 go. I wake up every morning and I have to go through grief. It's just, some days you do it faster and some days you just get stuck.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what my life is. And so, do I hope it gets better? Gosh, I hope so. But I also am like,
better.
To not feel the deepness of what I've lost on this level would be a disservice of the love that I had for my son. It would not, I'm supposed to grieve.
You are.
That is my child. I'm supposed to grieve him. And if I grieve him for 30 years and I die, well, then that's okay. It's my life. It isn't yours. It isn't anyone else's job to tell anyone else that their grief isn't right or they're not grieving the way that they should. I've had people tell me all the time, go get help, go do this, go do that, go do this. Those aren't something that appeal to me. Like I said, Billy Bob Thornton, he lost his brother, and he has a little segment out. It's like 15 minutes. And he says, I'm willing to be this way if that meant I got to love my brother. I feel the same way about my son. It would be a disservice to him to not honor the love,
You can do that and be happy too.
I'm getting there.
Well, you have happy days. It's okay.
Ooh, it's the punishment that I took and the guilt. And I told you this, and I'll tell other people. One of the things that my professor told me was for me to go rent the movie called Night Mother with Anne Bancroft and Loretta Lynn, or not Loretta Lynn. Who played Loretta Lynn? Sissy Spacek. And it takes place in a house, very small house. It's a mom and a daughter. Sissy Spacek has fits, which is epilepsy. So she can't go outside because she hurts herself when she has them. So she's had her weird life the whole time. And the mother finds out that she's going to kill herself. That's why she went and got daddy's gun out of the attic. And she does everything in this movie to try to persuade her daughter to change her mind. You love me. I love you. You can't do this to me. I mean, every guilt thing that you could. She still ended up dying. She still did it. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it, I think. I think if they're at that point.
Yeah.
If they're honestly at that point.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get pretty close. They dance on the line.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But what the movie allowed me to do was see it from a different perspective and letting go of guilt. I carried it so heavy that second year. It just was so heavy. I was so exhausted from carrying the guilt. And I watched this movie, and had I just watched it, I wouldn't have felt so bad. Not as bad.
It probably wouldn't have reached you until you were ready.
I let go of it's all my fault. I'm always going to take responsibility. About 20%, I would say, is still my fault, just being a human being. But I let go of that heavy, heavy guilt that if I had just been there, had I just, did this or had I done that, he would have waited until I left and still had done it.
You just had a new plan.
Yeah. I mean, so, that movie was so deep and profound for me. It changed my perspective. And so I was able to wash away guilt. I still hang on to my little 20% over here, but that's nothing compared to what it was,
On a bad day.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just awful. I'm learning to care about myself, like self-care, that and also just allowing myself that if I want to feel like shit and lay on my couch and do absolutely nothing all day long, that's my prerogative. I don't feel like doing something. I don't want to be around people. I've gotten very selfish of who I want to spend my time with. I wasn't before. Now I'm very picky. The things that I've chosen to...
Well, assholes have also revealed themselves a lot.
Yeah. True. Yeah. I mean, you're going through it.
So what is some advice, last question, what is some advice that you would give grieving families during the holidays?
Don't isolate.
Did you have any good resources that you found, like people to call or programs or anything that you could advise if somebody was going through something like that?
So, yeah, it was really hard for me. And that's something that I was just so frustrated with, is that I didn't want to go to Grief Share, which is church-based.
I was going to say you didn't want to do the church one.
Did not want to do that
you were
because
angry.
I was angry, and I thought I cannot say fuck in church.
Mhm.
That's just something that can't happen.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I need no reasons for God to be mad at me. No. So I've stayed away from that, but I have heard it's really helpful, that it's more helpful and more beneficial than they got from counseling, grief counseling. So
our church has it.
the ARC has one that's starting up. Ron is the guy that I think runs it, or is one of the guys. Yeah, so I'm going to go next year.
Yeah.
So
I'm proud of you.
because
That's
at some
awesome.
point you have to admit that you are part of the problem. And that's really hard.
You can turn it, right? You can be part of the solution. You can start helping.
Yeah.
And you're always going to grieve, but
And the holidays are always going to be tough. It just is what it is. It didn't hit at Thanksgiving. Normally it hits at Thanksgiving, and then it's usually gone, and then it comes back at New Year's, because New Year's was a big deal for us. Christmas, he and I hated together, but I miss having him here to hate it with, or coming up with creative ideas for Christmas. I just miss him in general. I miss hugging. I miss smelling him. I know that sounds stupid, but I miss this sweaty ass smell.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I miss the sweat, period. I would say counseling, help, support groups. They didn't have them again, like I said, and it's something I'm trying to do, is start a support group for people who have lost someone to suicide, and include addiction and overdoses because their stigma's the same. They're both isolating
Right.
ways to die. And whether you're an addict or a first-time person that's out there experimenting and you OD, it's something that we can't run from anymore.
Yeah.
We can't shame people anymore. Why we don't shame people who have cancer?
No.
It's an illness. Addiction is an illness. Again, I have a lot of empathy. I'm so sorry that you have to have that in your family. It demands to be respected. Those, any drug, it goes for anything. I mean, an abundance of anything's too much, but we just try to ignore it. And I think I'm just done ignoring.
Good for you.
It's time to stand up, be loud.
Why not?
I got nothing else to do on my time with my time.
It's a good thing to do.
Absolutely
Exactly.
it is.
It's a really good thing. Do you have a tip of the week?
Oh, go hug your babies.
Golly. Have the tough conversations.
Yeah.
Have them. Go
Yep.
talk to them.
And I think that one thing as a parent, like, it's okay to say you're sorry to your kid.
Please say you're
Yes.
sorry to your kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
You could
always
undo
apologize
so
when
much.
I'm wrong.
You can
Yes.
undo so much damage that you did.
Well, and you're setting the
You know,
example
so
of
much.
showing that you admit when you're wrong. It's
Yes.
accountability. It's integrity. How are you teaching it to your kids if you don't have it yourself?
And that you're
You
not
should
that to your
apologize,
core.
'cause
Yeah.
everybody knows as parents, we are not perfect.
No, not at all.
We screw up all the time. I screw up every day.
I would scream at Nathan. That was the way he'd be like, yeah, and I know 5 minutes later, he's like, you know why it never meant anything, Mom? Is because 5 minutes later, you'd be coming up the stairs going, I'm so sorry. He's like, I was the asshole. And I was like, but I'm the adult. I shouldn't have screamed. It's no more different than me having a temper tantrum as a
It is, but
2-year-old.
we have to give ourselves grace.
Yes. What is grace if it's not given?
It's hard.
It's
Parenting
really
is
hard to
hard.
give it to yourself.
Yes.
Yep.
And to forgive yourself, well, that's an
Yeah.
act of God only.
No, we like to
It is.
beat ourselves down.
Yeah.
That's why you keep your 20% around.
Yeah.
Little change bag so you can put
Yeah.
knots on yourself with
Yep.
it here and
Also,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. I want to say I want to be guilt-free, but I know I wasn't. I know that, my having MS had to have had an impact on him. Can you imagine? And then our dogs both died from it, and
Oh,
he knew.
wow.
So 2 months after Nathan passed, our dog passed too from DM, which is like MS.
Wow.
And so he was like, I just can't get away from it. And so,
But
you
that's all
know,
he's ever known too. It's not like he's known something else.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
think when you grow up with that, that is your normal. So don't have guilt for things like that. God gave him to you for a reason.
See, and I just think, that was, Tina, he's going to grow up being a little damaged and weathered. He had to watch you and take care of you and,
All of us are fucked up.
And whoa.
In one way or another.
Yeah.
We all give our kids, we talk about that all the time. Like we traumatize our children. We don't mean to. Because we're human beings and we screw up constantly.
Yeah.
It's not on purpose. It's not malicious. We love them.
And the thing of it too is that our kids are not our best friends.
Mm-hmm.
They are our children, and we do need to discipline them. We need to be a guiding light for them. And when you say your 3-year-old is your best friend and your little mini me and stuff like that, I cringe because I'm like, no, you are her parent or you are his parent.
Mm-hmm.
You need to act as such.
Yeah.
The friendship and the growing of best friends doesn't happen until later in life when you've been through it.
When
Right
you're not
now,
paying their bills anymore. They're making their own decisions. Then
Yeah.
you can move it. When you're not the parent.
yeah,
When they're not your dependent.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean to sound cruel, but it's just something that we do it now, and I'm like, stop doing that. You're putting a lot on your child, a lot of expectations for them
A
to.
lot of adult emotion they're not ready for.
Exactly.
Parentifying a child.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yep, for sure.
Well, that was tough,
Yeah, that was tough.
but seriously,
glad you
thank
came
you.
on.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me, for letting me be
Very
a
brave
voice.
thing and extremely vulnerable of you. There's people that can't say that shit to themselves, let alone to this giant audience.
Well, I'm just gonna say, if I can't speak his truth, then I don't need to speak it at all, and that is his truth. Do you think I think he would take it back? Of course he would. I think it took literally a second for my son to die. As soon as the bullet hit, he was dead. That's not even a proper greeting of hello. A second is longer. I hug you longer when I come in. You know what I mean? And that's how quickly life can truly be gone. If you've got bad, relations with your children, fix it. I don't care if you're in the wrong or they're in the wrong. Fucking fix it.
I know. I feel that way all
Just
the time.
fix it.
I would, yeah.
You have at this point no
Who cares?
choice. Let it go, because your child could be suffering from it and you never know what's going to happen to your child. That's all I can
You just
say.
will not promise tomorrow.
No. Ever.
Love somebody like you might lose them tomorrow.
Yep.
Or when they walk out the door.
Value.
You can't live your life that way, but you can love them that way.
Yep. For real. For real. Thank you guys so much for letting me share my story. I really appreciate it.
I hope it helps.
And
I
being
know it's going to.
receptive.
I feel like it, yeah.
I love that it's coming out during Christmas, because you say that you hate Christmas and I hate Christmas and I hate Christmas, right?
Right.
But in it, we hate it because it's not celebrated the way that it should be anymore, right?
Right.
Yet we're contributing to that by not celebrating it,
That's true.
And so as you tell your story, and not having my kids this year for Christmas, it's like, I'm going to love them a little extra hard. I'm going to do Christmas, you know?
Yep.
And it just takes one, and it's a ripple effect. And if we could just focus on that instead of staying stuck on the sucky parts of what the society has made it.
Yeah.
Let's change it then.
Yeah.
And if we can't change it for everyone, at least we can change it for ourselves.
Yes, exactly. So true. And I always say it starts with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The bullying. Just stop. Scroll. You don't have to comment a hateful comment. Just keep going.
Yeah. Keyboard warrior
yes.
shit.
Yeah. Oh God. And it's kept
Probably
me off.
Somebody that feels like they're not seen or heard.
And I will not. I'm just to the point where I stay off social media a lot because I can't stand to see it. I think, do you understand what you are potentially doing to somebody else's life?
Yeah.
Words are so impactful, and you don't know where someone's at.
Right, their emotional capacity could be just barely hanging on.
Yep.
Barely. And so I don't want to be a participant. So I stay kind of off social media now because of that.
Well, it's probably not great anyways.
Well, this is going on social media.
Yeah. And you're going to have to get on and share.
But I do hope that it shares his story in a way that can impact people from all perspectives.
Oh, yeah. And another tip this week, reach out to people that might be alone.
Yeah.
Call somebody whenever the show's over. Somebody you've just thought about. Tell them you thought about them.
Yep.
People want to be validated. That's it. They just want to
feel
be
like somebody gives a shit.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. And then again, it just if you ask if that's what you expect in life, then be that person who does that.
Yes,
Show
I love that quote.
Just be that person.
Be what you want to see in someone else.
Yep.
Right. I agree.
I might fall short, but I try. And
you're doing great.
You're
climbing.
Right? I mean, I was down there.
You're deep, girl.
I was way down there. I've had to crawl.
But you're coming up. You're grabbing on the little roots that people are throwing you here and there.
The sludge was heavy.
You didn't want it before.
No, I didn't. And I was like, and if the quickest way to make me angry was talk about God. I was like, don't even talk to me about him. And because I'd had so much religious stuff thrown in my face that I was just like, don't.
Just too angry.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you opening up about it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Like I said, I really appreciate you both just being open to having me have a hard conversation.
Absolutely.
Thought it was going to be, yes, it was. I thought it was going to be harder or easier because I figured I wouldn't cry.
I'm glad that you did, though. I'm glad that you felt.
I couldn't help it. It just kind of had to, just all of a sudden it was going to come and it was going to be big sobs. And I was like, no, don't sob. You know, inside my brain going, shut up. Shut up. Don't you dare. Don't you let it.
Oh, there's no way. There's no way. I knew your ass was going to cry.
She's been telling me.
I was like, it's going to be hard. I'm telling you. Like,
Yep.
This is not a fun conversation, but it's a very important one.
Yeah.
And you know, like I can't explain it enough, you know. I'm alone. To that I saved all these things for my son. Heirlooms. Because they're not worth a shit, but you save all these things for your kids. What am I going to do with this shit now? You know, it's not like he's going to use bassinet for what? He's not here. Those things you just don't think about, because now I'm just like, well, now everything material that you thought was of value, it isn't. It really isn't. Because where's it going to go in the end?
Which is why I love that we're talking about this in Christmas time and the hating Christmas and the doing something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's take the presents out of the equation.
Yeah.
If you've already bought them, open them, have that joy, whatever. But like, okay, now let's get to Christmas. You know? And let's feel Christmas. And
you know, the best Christmas I ever had, the only Christmas that I loved, was my dad was really sick, and I took care of my dad. It was right around when we met. Mm-hmm. He got sick, and me and my mom took care of him 24/7. He couldn't walk. He could not talk. He could not. If he wanted a drink, he had to literally just wait for us to give it to him, because he never spoke, walked, talked, nothing again. And for Christmas, I'm like, how is he going to understand it? He's got an anoxic brain injury, and you know, half of the time he knows us, half of the time he doesn't. He just come off from a really hard week. And I said, well, I was in with his physical therapist, Jamie. You know Jamie.
Jamie who?
Gosh, she's got 3 kids. We're friends. She's on Facebook too, Jamie. She's got, what is her? Losing. I'll have to tell you. But so anyways, we had a Christmas where I heard her voice and I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I said, would you come over and sing carols with me and my husband? And so her and her husband and me and my husband, we got hot cocoa, and we wheeled my dad out by the Christmas tree, and we sang Christmas carols. Oh. His request from Jamie was the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh my gosh. That reminds me of National Anthem.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm like, awesome. Only my dad would do that. It was so great, though. And then she
sing it?
Yes, she did. She did. Awesome. It was great. And then when he passed, she sang at his funeral, "In the Garden," and because that's one of my favorite songs, and my mom really resonates with that. So it was one of the songs, and her voice is just so pretty, and she's such a sweetheart. You would know her. She posts almost every day, and it's always religious.
Are you talking Katie?
No, Jamie, for sure.
Okay.
Jamie Alfred. That's her last name, Alfred. Jamie Alfred.
I need to see pictures because this is a married name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to. I do know.
I think his name is Chris. Is she married too?
All right. We gotta.
Yep. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Definitely share. if you have been impacted by this and you took something from this, comment, reach out, whether it's to us, to her, loved ones, whatever, get help. You're not
Tina's
alone.
going to be LinkedIn. So
yeah, you're not alone.
And she wants to start a
Support group.
A support group. So if you're into that, if that's something you need, I'm going to tag her and everything.
And also 988, and you can text home and then to 741-741. And those are the two biggest hotlines that we have for suicide crisis. And
say that one more time.
988, or you can text the word home to 741-741.
Okay.
We'll put that up there.
We need
Thank
to.
you. Yeah. I just think, you know, something we didn't touch on was, you know, they have these numbers and stuff, you know, that if you call those numbers and you say you have something going on, if there's a certain diagnosis behind it, because they come and get you, they persecute you.
Yeah.
You are arrested or you are put on a hold. So then you are therefore persecuted. Committed is a crime, like you're committing a crime, you know, or trying to, and it's not a crime. And then also, they tell your schools, if you're going to college, that you've been diagnosed with certain, if it's certain ones, they're supposed to tell colleges. And so therefore they can't, they will get denied being able to go back to school. My son was terrified of that because it was just going to get him a label. He's like, why would I ever call them?
It's not fair.
That's not cool.
Persecution. And it's real. I mean, gosh, I'm like, okay, well, just screw somebody's life because they're going through a tough time, you know?
Yeah, we definitely go about this the wrong way.
Yeah. All right.
Love you.
I love you too.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
High five.
Thank you both for
Thank you.
allowing me. I'm so sorry I cried.
Don't